I don't think.
Welcome to Malcolm and We, heard exclusively on malcolmpresents.com, a streaming platform heard round the world and even in Virginia and New York and other places, but not in Ohio, I'm sorry,
And beyond, and
and
beyond.
beyond. Well, Ohio is beyond.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm Malcolm Berman, your host, and below me is Jana Larson, who's my co-host. And Jana, introduce our guest.
Thank you. Today we have Reverend Laura George J.D., and she is the Executive Director of the Oracle Institute, which is an educational charity and think tank that studies the nexus between religion, politics, human rights, and conscious evolution. She authored the award winning Oracle trilogy called The Truth, the Love, and the Light, and she serves as lead minister at Oracle Temple. Oracle is headquartered at the Peace Pentagon, a training and retreat center located in Independence, Virginia. Oracle campus also is home to the Valley of Light microcommunity, and currently Laura is helping to spearhead the Founding Mothers Movement, otherwise known as FMM, and it is a strategic plan to unite women's groups, manifest gender equity, and end war. Thank you for being here, Laura.
Hmm.
Yes,
Well, I'm happy to be here today. Thank you for inviting me.
been wanting to talk to you for a while. When I heard about the FMM, and I think one of the, well, I don't know how long that you've been doing this, but I remember I was putting a poster or some information about it on our Global Unity calendar for We the World, and I think it was well, when I first put it on, it was for Marianne Williamson.
Hmm.
So, and of course, she's a very key figure in many movements, world politics, our politics here, and the women's movement and peace.
Now, to be briefly, what is your goal? What are you trying to do, and what are you trying to get across?
Okay, so the Founding Mothers movement started as a collaboratory of the Evolutionary Leaders Circle. And we brought in many of the female thought leaders, including Riane Eisler, Drew Curavan. And for about 9 months, we were the Founding Mothers Commission. And we were looking at all the elements of the polycrisis. And to us, the two core issues, if solved, will help us remedy all the remaining issues. So for us,
What is
when you
polycrisis?
polycrisis, that's
Yeah.
all the existential threats we're facing, which are too numerous to list on this show. So when you look at the list, maybe your top 10 list, which I never thought the president of the United States would be on that one. But anyway, we realized that when you peel this onion at the core, for us, are these two issues that need to be resolved, and that is gender equity, which this planet has never experienced, shockingly enough, and ending war. If we can get women on the same playing field in the boardroom and parliaments and all these different systemic level decision making arenas, and we end war, we've shifted the paradigm. And then it becomes completely possible to solve all the degradation that's taken place on our planet, wealth inequality, all the other elements of the poly crisis then become remediable. But if you don't solve those two, you can't get to the other issues, which is why the paradigm shift is stalled. So Founding Mothers is an effort to consolidate around what we do think are these two issues. I'm a geeky kind of person, and I've been studying this for about 30 years. And from a strategic standpoint, I really do believe those are the two core issues, which, if solved,
Mhm.
then save the world.
But do,
Yeah,
do you think all women are aligned with you or feel the same way? I believe in, equality. But do you think women have the same, women and men are the same mentality, the same goals, and
There's
and it's
there's a
only and it's only changed by society?
All right, so there's a few questions embedded in there. Do I think all women think the same way? No. Trending right now, in case your audience doesn't know, is the trad wife movement, meaning traditional. So yes, there are women on the planet who desire security more than freedom. And that's been the case. And one could argue at a DNA level, right? A genetic level, we are predisposed toward seeking male assistance and protection. But I think that's a minority on the planet. So that's the answer to the first question. But I'll add, even those women who seek true parity in the workplace and in pay and civil rights and all of that, aren't going to view the world identically. So we're dealing with a lot of worldviews. For shout out to anyone out there who's familiar with spiral dynamics. And that's the challenge. We've got a lot of worldviews on the planet. In my last book, I said we got everything from barbarians to Buddhas walking the planet right now. Ken Wilber jokingly says if Buddha were alive today, he'd be a dime a dozen. And by that, he means we've got many, many, many humans at a high level on the spectrum of consciousness. And then we have these people like Putin and Trump on the planet who still subscribe to might makes right and all of these very sad and immoral positions. So the point of the Founding Mothers movement is that we now have the technology and the consciousness level globally to start unifying in a meaningful way. I worked with Barbara Marx Hubbard before she passed on her Office for the Future project, and we borrowed heavily from that project for the Founding Mothers movement. And she and I used to talk about this, and this is where the cutting edge of evolution is right now. Everyone talks a really good game about co-creation and partnering, but for most people, that means like we'll swap logos on our website. No, we have got to truly unify at this point, and by that I mean strategically collaborate and co-create. Or we ain't gonna make it. The bad guys are winning right now.
Mm-hmm.
But there are more of us.
There are more of us, but it's like herding cats.
Yes.
All right. So at the higher end of the spectrum, again, I need to use a little spiral dynamics. The green meme is the first world-centric meme. It's the first group of humans who really do care about that starving child in the global south, right? The tipping point, unfortunately, is beyond them in most of these models, in the sense that they talk a really good game, but they don't really walk the walk. So,
right, they're not down in the trenches. Is that what you mean?
They have all these amazing spiritually bypassing ways of sitting on the sidelines, giving themselves permission.
Holding containers.
Yes, patting themselves in the back. I'm so spiritual. Yeah. If you haven't seen the JP Sears video on how to be ultra spiritual, I recommend that. It's hysterically funny. So yes, it's like herding cats, and that's the challenge. That is the challenge. The green meme is as reluctant to follow. Now I see that I gotta be careful here. So they still confuse hierarchy with holarchy, and holism is about understanding that nothing operates without a brain. So what you see in the green meme is a disregard and disdain of expertise, just like you will see at the mentalist meme. So that's part of why we got where we are. Wilbur wrote a whole book on it, blaming the green meme for Trump. So there are a lot of challenges. But yes, there are way more people now on the planet who will say, at least, they believe in unity and diversity. And so if we can just tap into that meme and inspire them to action, I think we can turn this paradigm shift around in the right direction and follow the evolution.
Do they have the money? Do they have the money to be able to make a difference?
Well, I haven't seen any of the billionaires drop. Well, that's not true. That's not true. Melinda Gates is dropping big bucks, and so is I can't remember her name, Bezos's wife.
Yeah.
So we see that, yeah, some female billionaires are stepping up. We're just behind. If We're just behind. We've been sitting on the sidelines, assuming our rights were intact forever, and that's just not how society works. There are regressionary periods, and we're in one. We're in a regressionary period right now. The democracy index has been on decline for almost 30 years, and liberals have just been, it'll be okay. It'll be okay.
Yeah, democracy works if you all keep working for it, you know.
Well, the democracy which is based on education. I don't think you can have a democracy without a educated public.
And they've been attacking the schools since Brown versus Board of Education.
But
right?
my question is, as a worldwide movement, how do women from other, I'm familiar with women from this country and what's happening, what they're saying, and what they are. Do you find that many of the women, or are you aware of women, let's say in Africa or Asia or South America, do they have the same goals as women here?
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. And by the way, we've got women from Africa and Asia and Palestine, and we already. All right. So what we did was, let me back up. All right. So the International Congress of Women was formed in 1878, and they met for the first time in Paris, France. And it was an answer to Julia Ward Howe's Mother's Day proclamation after the Civil War. So she writes this Mother's Day proclamation, and women from the world convene. So they were very active until women got the right to vote, and then it just sort of went dormant. So what we've done is we've reimagined and we've reignited what we're calling the Global Women's Congress. And yes, we've already got women from all over the world. We meet every month. Back then, they got to get in ships and, just imagine the travel. For us, we can meet virtually. We meet the first Saturday of every month. And yeah, the magic of what we're doing right now allows us to really collaborate. So again, we've got the technology to do it now. I think we've got the consciousness to do it now. We just have to all get organized, because
when you
the
say
other side is very organized.
When you say meeting, are you talking about like Zoom meetings like we're doing, or
Yes, we've had 9 sessions of Congress. We have our 10th session April 5th. And to become a delegate in the Women's Congress, you need to be a representative of a group, a nonprofit. We had to put the threshold somewhere. We put it at 25 people. So if you're a female leader of a group that has 25 or more members, you're qualified to be a delegate in the Women's Congress. And we also stood on the shoulders of the suffragettes because their strategic plan was genius. So they unified all the women's groups of their day, the peace groups of their day, and the churches. So we're following that same strategy. So we're doing women's groups, women and children is one category, peace and democracy groups. Now we've got spiritual groups, not just churches. And we've added the fourth category that didn't exist 100 years ago, and that's environmental groups and also indigenous groups. So that pretty much covers every thematic or charitable mission on the planet. So almost any nonprofit would qualify to be a partner and then can send a female delegate.
And how do you finance yourself? Is it volunteers? Is it
It's mostly volunteers right now. We're writing grants. I mean, we're new. And by the way, I really, 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 really want to emphasize, this is not another nonprofit. That is the last thing we need. The last thing we need is another charity. This is merely a brand. That's it. It does not exist legally. It is a coalition of charities, nonprofits. We've got some businesses involved as well. So, I'm an attorney, and that was done for a variety of reasons. But also it's like a multi-headed hydra, right? Like if they take Laura George out at the Oracle Institute, Founding Mothers keeps going. So we've got a lot of female attorneys involved, as a matter of fact. 7 international female attorneys drafted our Founding Mothers Proclamation. So we took Julia Ward Howe's Founding Mothers Proclamation, and Mother's Day, sorry. We took the Mother's Day Proclamation, and we issued a 21st century version. We did that by the 3rd Congress. I'm telling you, we are moving fast. Yeah. So we had that drafted and published by October 2nd, which is International Day of Nonviolence. Those are our demands.
How do you interface with men? As far as
all the time. same. Men are involved. Men are involved and are not only welcome, encouraged to participate in Founding Mothers Movement. We're keeping the peace room. This is the tip of the hat to Barbara Marx Hubbard, who said we needed a peace room as sophisticated as a war room. So our executive team is called the Peace Room. We're keeping that all female, but men are absolutely invited into the movement and can lead operational circles. We've got 5 of those. Like we have a media team, partner welcoming team, tech. All right. So we got the operational circles that men are involved in. And what else did I want to tell you? Oh, that the Congress itself, oh my God, it's totally reimagined. Like we don't even vote. We use sociocracy. So sociocracy, well, we also overlaid indigenous wisdom and we overlaid, female circle principles, but basically we adapted sociocracy, which is a governance model that came out of Europe. And in sociocracy, you make a proposal and you say, are there any objections? Silence is golden in this governance system. If no one raises, passes. So we've built it for speed as well. Yeah, we got it going on at the Women's Congress. I'm telling you.
Can you give some women lawyers who you have in with your group, or maybe I could just mention one and ask if she's involved. I don't know which is the better way to say it.
Well, you're asking me who were some of the attorneys. So
yes,
Lou Smithsman was involved. Rianne Eisler was involved. Who else was an attorney? Ayo Amali from Africa. Denise Scota. Pardon?
Audrey Kitagawa?
No, I don't think she's an attorney, is she?
Yes.
Oh, no, she was not involved. Audrey was not involved. Actually, the former head of the UN legal department is a woman, and she was involved. She retired recently. So we had female lawyers from all over the planet help craft the Founding Mothers Proclamation.
Now you say hire. That means that there are paying positions in your organization?
Not yet. We're all volunteer. Well, no, we're not totally all volunteer, but yeah, basically we're all volunteer at the moment. We need to get some money in the door, big time, because this has turned into a full-time mission.
Yeah. Do you do this full time now, or do you?
I mean, when I'm not taking care of the Oracle Institute, which also has a publishing house, so I have authors that need attention, and we're also building an intentional community here. So Oracle is located on a gorgeous 22-acre campus that is adjacent to the New River, which I'm looking at right now. The New River being the oldest river, completely misnamed, the oldest river in the Western Hemisphere, and maybe the oldest river in the world. The Kogi came here in 2018. They were doing a UN visit and learned of the New River, and they said, oh my gosh, they want to see that first. So they brought the Kogi here and they did ceremony. Anyway, so I'm a very busy woman, doing a lot of things, finishing the Peace Pentagon as well. It's not quite done yet. But yes, Founding Mothers is my primary project right now.
Just by the way, my background is in communications, and I've worked in TV and radio. Now my chief concentration is on the internet, because that's the best way I find the best way to reach people. So I've been working with Yana on this show for about 2 years now. And we're affiliated with We the World and Rick. And what we're trying to do is set up, I don't know how many shows you've seen, but on Malcolm Presents, I have various shows on different topics. Not only, a serious things, some fun things. But what I'd like to do is set up a whole arm of things that you're doing. And possibly if you could speak to Yana, maybe about doing a regular type of broadcast, that we could put a separate arm for you and your group that could be called Founding Mothers Movement, where you and Yana could be interviewing different people each week or once every 2 weeks, or once every day, because it's a fast moving world.
Yes.
I mean, now with what's happening politically in the US, I'm almost like a 24 hours a day junkie on the news, because at one time, nothing happened between, sundown and the
No,
next
the
morning.
TV went there was they did the sign off and it was just static.
Yeah. No, 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 but even recently, before this administration, nothing really happened. No one made news. There was a news cycle people wanted to get on, for the new things to get on early morning news or late afternoon news. Now it seems the cycle is 24 hours a day with uh, our president, trumping with our president, issuing different social media blogs, like at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Last night I was watching the BBC while I took a bubble bath, and I was thinking, boy, they're doing a better job of telling what's crazy things are going on in America than we're hearing here, kind of explaining it a little bit better. And to me, what I was noticing about the reporter was just like he was just like reading this like this just gets weirder and weirder and weirder, and he just kind of has this expression on his face like.
But in any event, I like to dedicate shows to what's happening, on a daily or at least a weekly basis, where and get this out to people in your organization or We the World organization and build up an audience. I don't know why X should have an audience of millions, and we don't. We
The we.
we
Well,
because
We the World is part of Founding Mothers and a Senate delegate to Congress. So there's plenty of simpatico energy here. We do have a monthly show that we're doing called Connect Fest. So that is taking place. But your offer is lovely, Malcolm, and thank you. And yes, let's get you into a peace room meeting and figure this out.
right. It's just a matter of organizations because I've been talking about this with Yana for the last 2 years. So far, it's very slow, but once it gets started, I think it's
But
going
we
to
got
be
a
like
lot to say.
a
We got a
forest
lot to
fire.
say. And again, so let's talk, if you don't mind, let's talk about why movements have failed in the 21st century. Okay,
Continue.
and they've not only failed, they've failed miserably. It would have been better if they hadn't even started. And here's why. Because when they don't know what they're doing and they're all flat, totally decentralized and flat, when they fail, they leave a power vacuum and the bad guys come in and grab even more power. So we saw this happen after Occupy, we saw this happen after Arab Spring, and the experts have now analyzed it. And what we're missing is the vertical axis. Back to there are no experts, and there's, everyone has the right to talk ad nauseum. I mean, when Occupy was happening, Michael Moore went up there and said, "Hey guys, the media doesn't even know who to talk to. And what are your demands? What are you asking for specifically?" They followed none of the standard activist rules, and the result was chaos and nothing. So we're following the Gandhi Handbook, we're following the Martin Luther King Handbook, and we're following the best of the research, which is reflecting that once you lose that vertical axis and you go totally horizontal, movements fail. So that comes back to why the Congress. The Congress is a place for nonprofits to come in so that we're not just, shooting off in a million directions. What we've been saying is 1,000 points of light is great, but if you're still separated in your silo, we are not going to win this paradigm shift. So we've got a lot of system science embedded into our strategic plan, and we're seeing, like I'm watching, I don't see any other hubs on the horizon, which is what we need. We need these forums in which to collaborate. So Indivisible is sort of doing it, and Women's March is sort of doing it, but everybody is still decentralized. So, you go to their websites and you see all these little dots all over the country or all over the world. It's great, but there's no coordination. There's no brain. For instance, just something this simple. What if we all got out the same day? Just that would be Herculean. I mean, I get stuff from 5051. I get, Women's March pick states. I got all these dates. People are going out with their posters and not randomly. I mean, they're targeting locations, and like the Tesla dealerships, like they're targeting locations. There are picking some strategic days like International Women's Day. But just imagine just getting us all on the same calendar, what that would do. We'd shut the world down. We would shut the world down. And so that's why we need these hubs, because we need that in military. My dad was military. Can you tell? We don't have command and control central brain for a social movement.
Yeah.
And that's what we need to develop.
What you need is simple things, organization. I mean,
Yes,
you
that's
have to
another
have,
way of saying it. Yeah,
and then you have to have the organization aimed one way, like a laser light. You don't have, different lights flying all over the place because that confuses people and they don't know what to do. But the
well, it's
laser light,
okay. So you want to leave all the partners with absolute autonomy, creative agency. Like it should look different. You know, what we did here on March 8th for International Women's Day isn't going to look like what they could do in Palestine, which was probably next to nothing, or even Pakistan. We've got delegates in Pakistan, and they have to be really careful or they could get killed, right? So, but just it's a level of coordination that, again, just getting our calendars synced would be huge. But you do want to leave all the partners still feeling creative agency
all
and
right,
autonomy.
yeah,
So that's why you want both. You want both the vertical and the horizontal axis working together.
well, that's a whole trick to it. I think Trump has it right. He has so many things out there that no one can really focus on one thing to be against.
He's
As
got
soon as you're organized to be against this, there's something else that he does that's totally outrageous, and you say, "How can he do that?" And your focus is taken away, and you forget about what happened yesterday.
all right. So there are at least 100 alt-right think tanks. Let's say on average there's 20 people working there.
Hmm.
Okay. So there's 20,000 people who wake up every day and plan how to do oligarchy.
Hmm. But
Okay, that's what we're up against. That's the level of organization that we're up against. Then they don't have the same consciousness level. They are used to the military mindset. They take orders,
hmm. but
right? Like
the
it's
beautiful thing about the internet is that
pardon?
the beautiful thing about the internet, you have your list of people that get email from you and get texts from you. You put that together with the 1,000 other groups that have
Right.
their own emails and have one communication center
Yes, that's the goal.
that could send their
That's the
email
goal.
to each center and say, okay, we're going to do this, and then have
Exactly.
all maybe a few one day a month or something, have all these groups then blast out the announcement this is
Exactly.
happening, and you
Exactly.
can have
But no
millions.
one should be calling the shots. Back to you still need the hub. But yes, once
Right,
the forum, the organizing brain has made a decision, yes, you shoot it out
right.
everywhere. So we have the technology to do that. Yes, that is exactly the goal.
And this is what I hope to do. I mean, it's a Herculean job. I
Well,
mean,
it's Herculean only in the sense of it's like herding cats. If everybody agree, so
right,
we're still bumping into, possessiveness, proprietary issues, like people, I don't want to name any names, but we've been approaching some of the bigger groups. And they're like, well, what would happen to us if we
right.
formed a coalition? I'm like, wait, what? That's the whole point. No, people are still protecting turf in the nonprofit industrial complex world. And I am seeing that we are not quite there yet at the consciousness level, and people are more concerned about their brand than saving the world.
So we need a cat whisperer for hurting.
We do need a cat whisperer.
Cat whisperer.
Yeah, if Barbara Marx Hubbard were alive today, she'd be, yeah, she'd be.
By the way, we're down to our last minute of the show, believe it or not. We've done our half hour. Where could people reach you?
Okay, well, Founding Mothers has its own website. So this is why I know we're on a divine mission. Foundingmothers.world, earth, and global was available. And so was Women's Congress.world, earth, and global. So we have those URLs. You can contact me through the Founding Mothers Movement or through the Oracle Institute. And we've got many leaders now at Founding Mothers. So your listeners will probably gravitate toward one or the other founding mothers, which is great. There's a join page. It's really easy to join the founding mothers movement. There is a vetting process to be in the Congress. However, we're making sure that, the CIA isn't signing up. And yeah, because every 21st century movement has also been infiltrated. So we're doing our best with security. But yes, please send people to foundingmothers.world and let's get this Congress rocking.
Yeah. Can we invite you back and other people in your group to keep talking about it? Because I think that'd be helpful too.
Yeah, at the beginning, if you like, what you could do is you and Yana could do the interviewing. I don't have an ego. I just want to put people together. I mean, whether I'm on camera or not, it's really no difference to me as long as I can organize what's happening or help organize what's happening.
All right, well, let's talk and let's make this happen.
We'll
Let's
talk.
do
Okay.
it. Let's do
Anyway,
it, Malcolm and Yana. Let's do it.
thank you very much, Laura. Done,
Happy
and
to
I
be
will
here.
see
Thank
you
you.
next week. I'll see you before, but we'll have the show next week. Do
All
we have a guest that you have on now, or?
We have a guest that wasn't here last when I interviewed her before. All of a sudden, I can't remember her last name. Oh, Daniela Giuseppe, and she's with the
Daniela Giuseppe,
Giuseppe.
Italiano.
I think I said it right. And she's with
I love that name, but I have to hold my hand like this one. Go Giuseppe.
Giuseppe, and she's with the climate reality movement. So yeah,
we need people like this.
She's a poet and everything. She's a wonderful lady.
Looking forward to seeing you. And again, thank you very much, Laura. And you're listening to Malcolm Presents. Actually, you'll listen to Malcolm and we heard on malcolmpresents.com. See you guys later. Bye.